Good morning, good morning, good morning, K-Man. Oh my goodness. Little issue here with my assets. Give me 1 second. There we go. Somehow my intro song. Hold on, folks. It's not changing the brand. I wonder what's going on this morning. How is everybody doing? I'm trying to get my intro song back, but it's not letting me change. Oh boy. Oh, well, this is a situation. Give me 1 second. Perhaps if I can refresh, that might help. Let me just play something while I refresh.
Infrastructure is more than roads and
It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes. Now don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight. And she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone. And when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. And some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies. But someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind. And soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Well, good morning again. My apologies. Had a little technical glitch there. I wasn't quite sure what that was about. Okay then. All good in the studio. Happy Monday to all of you. How is everybody doing this beautiful Monday morning? We had some rain over the weekend, and I'm most thankful for it. We haven't had a good little downpour in quite a while, so I feel like we were long overdue. So here we are now, giving thanks for the rain showers. All right, let me just see here. Okay, starting our Instagram feed. And let me just send out the feeds to Facebook and everybody else this morning. We're going to get caught up on some action that occurred over the weekend. So it's a bit of open mic today. And, oh my goodness. Melanie, I see you've had an allergic reaction to your dogs. I did not know that you were allergic. Oh my. Okay then. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, what can we do? We got lots going on. Working on some more investigative reporting. And then we are going to put up an editorial a bit later on, so have a look out for that one. We've updated you all on Friday and posted it on social over the weekend about the guys sleeping on the Iron Shore. So again, that's not a situation of homelessness, folks. It's a situation of drug addiction and people who have tried their endeavor best with at least one of those two Honduran Caymanians have said that unfortunately, every time he gets help, he just can't sustain it. And I don't profess to be any kind of expert in that area. All I can say is when help comes for free, you should take it and you should do your best to try to clean up your life because boy, drugs, what a scourge on your life, really. And I would encourage anyone to the best way to avoid a situation like that is never to try anything drug related because quite frankly, you just never know. So that would certainly be my best advice. Don't do it. Yep. Because you just simply never know how that is going to turn out for you. Okay, well, we've got Miss Irvlin in the house. Island Pearl is here. Damaris joining us from Queens, New York, most likely. Barbara G, thank you so much, Miss Barbara. Shaka Zulu, good morning and happy Monday to you. Robert is with us. I see that let me not forget to send the links. My apologies. I was already starting to get distracted. There's quite a bit going on with that British passport. I'll mention a few of those to you this morning so that you're aware of some updates there. And don't forget, join the channel because some of you keep saying to me, oh, I didn't get this notice. I didn't get that. And I said, well, you got to join the channel. Once you join the channel, you pretty much get it all from what I can see because we send everything right there on the channel. So good morning to all of our Instagram listeners as well. And of course, we've got several groups that we send our links directly to, including the Washington Boulevard group. We've got Caymanians in Florida. And we have, let me see. Yes, okay. Just got an update here. Let me send this to my client. So speaking of this, let me tell y'all a little something. Some of you may have heard me talk about a debt collection business that I've started. And really, I started it because people were approaching me to say, hey, Sandy, I need you to collect money for me. These are business people. And I was like, oh, Lord. I've been doing it for people now for years, as many of you will know. And I find that more and more business people want to come to me to do them a favor, I guess, because they think, they can go out there earning money. And then when they need something, it comes at no cost. But, that's just not how these things work. So when business people come to me, I said, listen, there's a number of agencies out there that can do this for you at a cost, but no, Sandy, you can do it better. Well, I said, okay, let me go get my business license so that I can do it better, but it's not going to come for free for businesses. I will do it for individuals, but y'all be trying to have money loan businesses and all sorts of things. And then you want CMR to help you when you can't get your car back, you can't get your loans back and all this sort of thing. Well, that's fine. Except that, when you're a business, there's something called the cost of doing business. So you come to me, you probably have to go to a lawyer. So I said, But really, I got it because I had about 2 people that I do business with who wanted me to collect for them. And so I wanted to make sure that I was completely legit and on the up and up with everything. So I put in my little business license and there you go. But as it turns out, it may actually end up taking off. Funny enough, funny story. It may actually end up taking off more than I anticipated. So I'm not taking on any new clients right now because I'm in the process of setting up, proper facilities for it. And I have to have proper systems in place because if you're going to expand and grow, it's like, okay, if it's 1 or 2, then I do my little thing. But if this is going to be more than that, then I really need to look at my options, and set up a proper office for this and, forms and systems and tracking methods and all sorts of stuff. So soon come. And then I will start to advertise and you guys can contact the office for that. I probably have somebody maybe working in that office. We'll see how that goes. So I just got an update. I only say that because I literally just got an update from someone who it was a substantial amount of money, substantial meaning hundreds of thousands of dollars to one of my clients. And these are money people, honey child. I can tell you, even money people got problems. So anyway, they just sent me an update on the status of their payments because they were supposed to be settling that this week. So I just got an update. And thanks for the update. Obviously, I'm not calling any names because I'm trying to work with them. But yes, thank you very much for the proactive update. I appreciate it because there were some funds supposed to be coming in this week. So, in fact, I'm going to quickly respond to them. Good morning. Thank you for the update. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. You got to have good negotiation skills when you're in this kind of business. I can tell you that. And you got to have what we call balls of steel. All right, wee, you good? Patricia Blake in the house. Happy Monday, Miss Yulene. Lavana. Somebody else sitting there going, Sandy, so-and-so owes my business some money. We'll take over your collections for you. Morning, Abby. Good morning. Dean Sinclair. Strong Wilt is here. Says you were going to tell us about Brady. No. I said, actually, I'm not going to tell you about Brady. I said, one day I'm going to tell you about Mr. Brady, but not yet. And there's a reason why not yet. And you'll understand it when it all comes to bear. But yes, I will get to Mr. Brady. One of the Good Old Boys Network clan members. I can tell you that. Ay. The things that I know. My goodness. What a mess. Good morning, Gary. Joining us from Connecticut. Hey, so nice to see you. Joseph in the house. Marshall from North Carolina. Miss Ivor, are you home? Good morning. Aliano's here. Beautiful Michelle Hurst in the house. Miss Lucille joining us from the UK. I hope you're feeling better today. Having a good day. Irvlyn says, well, I'm going to need an application form to register. Oh, you got lots of people owing you money, girl? Morning, Miss Charlene. So, couple things happened over the weekend. I thought you guys might want to know about this. Number one, another NAU client was spotlighted. I can't even play the videos here because they were cursing and going on so ridiculous in those videos. But go on social media if you want to see them, because yes, we've got the fight and the threatening of the landlord and all sorts of stuff. It's just shocking that, and this is why less and less, the more I know about these so-called NAU clients, the less I am inclined to really be so hard on NAU for not helping them, because this is a perfect example of why NAU is trying to vet these individuals. Because, you know, I understand that this lady, her name is Dania Ebanks Montero, whoever she is, lives there in a place in West Bay, always high on alcohol and drugs and all sorts of stuff. The man is John John's brother. I didn't know he had a brother, but apparently he does. And his name is, what's his name? Brian. Brian, what was last name again? Anyway, so Brian is strung out on drugs. And when I heard that, it made me pause, because I'm like, wait a minute. John wasn't the one who was going around during election time. Brian Ebanks. I hope they're not cousins. Two Ebankses. Ugh, what a bunch of mess. Wasn't John the one during the campaign going around making fun of another candidate who was once addicted to drugs? Having people get up on his platform talking about hitters, quitters, and something. Well, now, we find out, well, he shouldn't really talk about hitters, and he's a quitter himself. So, he keeps quitting parties and stuff. I am confused. Yeah, that's like crazy. So this is yet another case that we highlight where NAU is helping people that everybody's going, why are we helping these people? This is not the category of individuals who won't give up their drugs and alcohol. And as you can see, based on the fight there, high in something. I think I need to adjust my camera setting. I'm looking a little bit too pale this morning. I'll adjust my camera here in a second. So yeah, I'm like, what? Lord have mercy. This is what we are investing our government resources in, because trust me, these are the individuals, folks, who really do a number on the system, good hard money that we have to pay to put in the system to take care of them. And I'm sorry, but they're not deserving. The same way that I feel, quite frankly, that even that couple that y'all are going on about, the couple with the 6 children, not 5, because apparently she lied about having 5 children. It's actually 6 children. What I now know, and this is why it's important to do some digging, I'm just like, no, these are not the kind of people that we should be in the business of really trying to help. But of course, when somebody has children, I'll admit that that's a game changer, because all of us are like, well, we can't let the children be out in the streets and this and that. And but that's a whole other situation right there. These people know how to maneuver and use the system. And I hate to say it, but now they know how to use the ARC, a good organization that is supposed to be there to help people who are down on their luck. They know how to go over and use the compass, because the compass is not asking the right questions. They're not verifying anything in terms of, well, how did you get here? What was your housing before? Nothing. If I could do one show and find out that she got 5 baby fathers and 6 children, surely the Compass could have done a lot more investigative reporting. So forgive me for not being here trying to make the government look bad when it comes to the Department of Financial Services, because there is much more afoot here than, meets the eye. And so, yeah, no, honey child. They have got to do better. You know what I'm saying? I am not the least bit impressed. And so when I hear now that NAU is turning people down, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they know something that I don't know. Remember how they said, oh, NAU won't fund partial? I'm like, that's not true, because I know that NAU has done that in the past. They might not be able to pay your full bill, but they will help you with what they can. So the fact that NAU has told this couple no, and they are, appealing it. And trust me, I got to find out why NAU told them no. Come hell or high water, you watch me. I got sources outside of NAU's front door, not inside, but they gonna know what's going on. She got friends that talking her business already. Make her sit there. Anyway, we'll get to the bottom of it. And yeah, I can't have sympathy for people who are using the system continually. Everybody has fallen on their luck here and there. Everybody needs a helping hand. But when your life is about trying to play the system, woe is me story, and you can't even stop having children while you're playing the system, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get too much sympathy from me. That sounds harsh, and it is harsh, but it's a reality, because you don't, in the long run, you don't actually help people like that. You are reinforcing what they know, which is like, oh, how some of them go around, they actually will say it these days. The more children I have, the more money I can get from government, and the more people are going to help me. Well, I'm glad you think so. Because if you guys have not realized up until this point that that is definitely not the case, then something is desperately wrong. So I can tell you what, I'm keeping my eye on them. Yeah. And I'm going to inform the public because, some of y'all are so soft. You yourselves don't even do any investigative work yourself. Oh, this Caymanians I'm talking about now. Because I don't expect any different from our foreign friends, because they just don't know what they don't know. They don't know the underbelly of Caymans. Of course, the women in Cayman, and women in Cayman? I expect, them to be very, very sympathetic to when they hear these sob stories. Caymanians, on the other hand, should know better. Y'all should know a thing or two. And it's time that we start going, wait a minute. There's a reason why these people hide behind a silhouette photo. Not for nothing, but there's a legit reason why. Good morning, Miss Anna, honey chill. Yes, mama. So I continue to keep my eye on the ball. So yeah, this group, or this husband, and I don't think they're married, but whatever, partners, cussing their landlord out, carrying on like lunatics, threatening people. But you know what was most shocking is when the police were called and they showed up at 4:00 in the morning and they did not arrest these people. You saw how they were going on, right? They didn't arrest them. I'm like, whoa, what? How does the police show up to an incident like this with tenants threatening people, screaming, carrying on, and they leave the scene? This is now where police got to do better. They actually leave the scene and do not arrest both of these individuals, only to have to come back later on that afternoon after 12 o'clock because they started up again, and then to have to turn around and arrest them and then issue a press release saying, oh, they arrested them. Yeah, but you didn't arrest them at 4 o'clock in the morning when you should have. And you see, this is now where the popo, they have to be held accountable because you could have avoided so much more headache for the neighbors, the landlord, everything else, if you had arrested them in the first instance. And what I realize is, I don't know if it's just the West Bay station, but I hear quite a few complaints about them, that they know how these people operate. There's a couple that are well known to the police. Cole Van Bush is one of them, I can tell you that. Remember, she's the druggie, alcoholic, whatever she's doing these days, whose boyfriend knocked her out cold when she slapped him on the beach. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that video. And when I say he knocked her out cold, I mean, he sure did. Right? She's always the agitator. Tenants down by her can't have no peace. Neighbors down by her can't have no peace. Always going on like a mad woman. She makes false reports to the RCIPS all the time. And they will show up, know she's done something wrong, know she's high and whatever, and they don't do anything. They leave her in the situation. And one of these days, somebody's going to sue the RCIPS for doing that, because when the RCIPS shows up to a volatile situation and don't remove the individuals by arresting them, and they stay, and then something else pops off, and heaven forbid somebody gets hurt, that person can then sue, listen up, folks, you can then sue the RCIPS for negligence, because they have a duty of care. They have a legal responsibility when they show up to the scene of an incident to do what they need to do. And sometimes that means arresting the troublemakers. And they walk away and do not arrest the troublemakers. So what do you think is going to happen? It's going to continue to escalate. So those officers in West Bay, I don't know if they just see so much stuff all the time that they're just like immune to it. They don't care anymore. I mean, I don't even know what's going on with them. But what I can tell you is their track record is starting to say a lot about their standard of just doing their jobs. Can somebody please speak to Mr. Kurt Walton about this? Shaka Zulu says, did you mistakenly lower your picture quality? No. Let me check YouTube feed and see what I'm looking like. Nope, it looks pretty good to me. Try to refresh your screen. Sometimes you, if you do a little refresh, it helps. Oh, Lord have mercy. What a mess. Drinking my water and having my tea. I'm doing a little bit of intermittent fasting these days. So I keep telling y'all I got to get this weight off. And I keep saying it, but of course it's not happening. And one thing I know is it's pretty simple. You move more and move more and eat less. That pretty much is the simple formula. Nutrition can get a little bit more complicated, but that's a simple formula. All right. Oh my gosh, low battery. Let me charge up my little show phone. I forgot to charge it this weekend. Oy. So yes, honey child, I have no sympathy for none of these fools out here abusing the NAU privilege. And I want to stress again, NAU is not a permanent solution to your problem. Okay? It is a temporary assistance program. That's what they should have named it. Instead of the Department of Financial Assistance, name it Government Temporary Assistance, because some of y'all don't get it otherwise. Lord. No, sir. What a hot mess. Oh, thanks, Shaka. You said it's back now. All right. Strong Will says kaboom to you, Sandy. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a no-brainer, you know. There's a young lady, well, she's not young, but a lady I know who lost her job some months back. She was telling me that she's getting some NAU assistance. There's still some bills that she has to pay, and you know, she's got to try and sort out her health insurance and this sort of thing. She's not working, but she's actively out there looking for employment. You know, she's doing her best. Meanwhile, we got, what's her name? Dania and Brian Ebanks out here playing the fool, abusing the system when there are good people, some of our seniors who are legitimately in need. But you see, again, I'm going to tell y'all straight, I'm not really going too hard on NAU, because even with the seniors, there will be times why they refuse to help the seniors because the seniors have cloaked up in their house. Either they're being abused or they're intentionally allowing some of these younger people, their grandchildren, children, and great-grandchildren to sit there and take advantage of the NAU program. So then, you know, they know what's happening. It's not just that granny living in the house by herself or that elderly couple. All these people, they're taking advantage of it so they can have a place for free, and NAU not gonna pay for them. So it's as simple as that. Very, very simple. So there you have it. This person says, Sandy, NAU don't vex. I think they meant vet people. Vet no one fairly. They're very biased and only help drug and alcohol users and foreigners. The people who truly need assistance are given the runaround and are denied any assistance. This goes for the elderly, the sick, and the disabled. They only help their family and friends. Has nothing to do with how much you need assistance, but more about who you know in NAU. I am going to tell you, honey child, I hear you. And I'm not saying that maybe there's one or two cases where that isn't happening, because I mean, certainly no system is without, you know, scrutiny. But I do not believe that this is a widespread situation at NAU. I think NAU is doing their best to vet the applications, but people are very good at lying to NAU. They are deceptive. Some of these landlords are even in on the take now on the whole cahoot situation. So that is also happening. Yes. I even have heard of what people complaining about a particular Caymanian lawyer claiming that she's helping a disabled man in West Bay. And, you know, he's up to, well, he's disabled, so she's doing all the paperwork for him. And let's just say that her paperwork needs to be scrutinized. Anybody know NAU? They better tell him. Because she claimed that he's staying at a particular place. They're paying all this money for his rent, and he's not even there. Of course, and some family mixed up with a family member is getting the rental money, and then she's getting a cut of it. Listen, NAU is up against some real scammers these days. And it cannot be easy for them. Seriously. Oh, we got a caller. Hold on, caller. Hold on, honey child. Oh, give me a couple of seconds to charge up the phone, and then I will call you back, because I don't want the phone dying on me, and it's got very little charge. Caller, can I call you back? Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so you know, this is what's happening, folks. This is a regular thing. So when NAU starts to scrutinize everyone, and everyone is subjected to, oh, well, you know, you get extra scrutiny and they're going to turn you down because they're suspicious about who's living in your household and all this kind of stuff. Y'all get upset and you get in your feelings and you're like, oh, well, NAU don't want to help my poor granny. That's because the granny next door is taking advantage of NAU. So they're suspicious of everyone. And so they have to vet everyone with this standard now of suspicion. Yeah. And as we always say, the good pay for the bad. That's the case. So the more I know and the more I'm realizing how people are defrauding the government, the more I'm going to tell you all that, quite frankly, I am going to give any of you the benefit of the doubt until I know better. Because some of y'all defraud the government. If you listen carefully to what the former Minister of Health and Wellness said, she talked about how even, people are being, what do you call it now? People are being cynical, also is being defrauded, right? Same thing. People are going to, they claim they're going to appointments, and these physicians are charging and they never see a patient. Listen, this type of situation does not help anyone. It hurts the system. It hurts me and you. We pay for this, right? In the worst kind of way. Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, honey child. How are you?
Not bad. How are you?
Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored beyond all measures. It's a beautiful, beautiful Monday morning in the Cayman Islands.
Wonderful.
God is so good. It is
Yes.
awesome.
Absolutely.
NAU. NAU, honey child. Yes, there's a lot of scamming going on.
Yes.
You have landlord working with people to put in the NAU, and they don't even live in, they're not even living at the location, and collecting the money and parting it between the two. You have people living, two clients living in one room, and both of them are collecting the payment per room, for each room, and the money is being split. There's a lot of scamming going on with NAU. People are putting in for rental, and it's slumlords, and it not even fit for how to live in, and collecting $1,200 a month, and it's deplorable. There's a lot of scamming going on. But here's the point. Here is the real nutshell. When you report it to NAU, someone in NAU called back, because I personally called in NAU on a case that came knowledgeable to me. And a person at NAU, I understood, was dating the person I was reporting, and told the person that I called in reporting him. And he came over to my house and was arguing about why I report him to NAU. You understand? So, I mean, there is so much going on, you child, and up to this day, nothing came out of it. It's like they don't care.
Well, I tell you what. Let me just pause you there, Mr. Amelia. With all of these agencies, whether it's NAU, RCIPS, immigration, they need to have a reporting mechanism. I think immigration definitely has an anonymous email and stuff, right? They need to have a reporting mechanism where you report through a portal or through an email or whatever, and they don't know who it's coming from, so that they can do their appropriate investigations. And it needs to not just go to any and everybody up in NAU. It needs to go to a senior level person who's in charge of compliance matters.
Amen.
Because what you should have done, right, when that happened, was go to the anti-corruption unit and reported that person. Because there's no way on God's green earth that you should be making a complaint about someone abusing government funds, and then what happens is you come and have someone say something to you, threaten you, get up in your face and whatever, and nothing is actually done about it. That person should be terminated from their job. And it's a criminal offense to do that too. So they're behind, should have been arrested and charged and hauled off to jail. This is why people can't trust. This is why people cannot trust government entities and systems. It's not that
That's right.
holistically they might not be working. Once again, you have one or two bad apples, and that's all it takes. It only takes one or two bad apples for everybody to look at a situation side-eyed and go, I'm not calling police about nothing because you're not here when this and this was reported and this and that, whatever. And I'm not calling police about no NAU breaches. But you see, we pay for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because once again, I'm sitting there watching, my 70-year-old mother was denied. Your 70-year-old mother would have a better chance if the Brian and Daniels of the world, if the Jamies of the world and her 7 kids, because they're more than 6, weren't trying to use and abuse the system. This is the problem. There are people who clog it up and who take the government resources. We are hemorrhaging money to the hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars when it comes to this Department of Financial Assistance. And it has got to stop. If you are able-bodied, you're only in your 30s, there's no reason why you should not be able to get your backside up and have a job. I don't even care if it is sweeping the floor, if it is flipping burgers. Y'all want to complain about Burger King and Foster's and this one. If you know how many opportunities those same organizations that y'all complain about, how many opportunities they try to give Caymanians. And Caymanians go in there with an attitude. Well, they're not gonna work for $8 or $10 an hour. That's not enough. They don't want nobody to see them working cashier at Foster's. Why? It's a good job. It's an honest day's pay. There's nothing wrong with it. What's the problem? You not got no space to turn up your nose at no honest job if you are unemployed and you're an NAU.
That's right. That is right. That is right. But then years ago, I also knew that NAU used to put you on a you had a form that you had to go to job to look a job. And the person that interview you have to fill out the form to say, yes, you came by to look a job, to try to get them being off. But I don't know if that is still in play. But then again, you look at the situation.
I mean, because now they give them bus fare, they give them phone cards so they can call around for jobs. You know, I mean, I think NAU is trying, because even when now Premier Andre Ebanks was there, he said that they were overhauling the whole system where they have to demonstrate that they're actively looking for a job. But I can tell you, most of them not actively looking for nothing but man and drugs.
Exactly. And then again, that's another thing. They're supporting their nasty habits.
Exactly.
And NAU is paying for their drug habits. Yep. And then they continuously getting NAU assistance. I think that a drug screening should be in place to make sure that you're not on it.
Like I said last week, you want NAU services and you're a young mother. 2 criteria. Number 1, long-term birth control that NAU has to see the physician paperwork and signed off on. And anyhow you show up pregnant again, you're going to have a problem with NAU, right? Yep. While you're on assistance. Yep. Number 2, drug testing on a regular and sporadic basis.
That's right.
Number 3, you have to be involved in some sort of employment program and actively seeking employment. You have to be registered in the government portal. They need to see that you're applying for jobs. There has to be evidence of all of this for you to continually qualify for NAU.
That's right. That's right. We need some compliance officers for NAU to get down to the nitty-gritty, get out there in the fields and check out what's going on and what the government money or the people's money is being spent on. We need some policing because it's not funny. Cocaine is expensive as hell, tell me. And yet these people can find it to snort.
Exactly.
And living on NAU the same time.
Yes. As we can see here, got money for cigarettes, got money for drinking, and got money for drugs. Explain that to me. And yet you're on NAU.
Well, yet you're on NAU. I mean, you can see them being a pop around the place, begging. Same time while they get assistance from NAU. And I mean, it's from big to old, old to young. It is from old to young.
It's a sad indictment, because I tell you what, There was a time when Caymanians had more pride than this. Our people wouldn't be on the streets begging. Our people wouldn't be abused in the system, right? The days gone by when our seamen got up at the age of 13 years old and went off to sea and were forced into manhood to try to support their mothers and sisters back home, and then eventually to support a wife and children. That is the legacy of Caymanians, and these people have soiled up our legacy like you would not believe. And you know what one of the biggest problems are too? We have our own lazy, no good, you know what, right? Abusing the system, and then they turn around and tag team the system and import people from overseas who just like them.
Yep.
From all countries and all walks of life. Lazy, no good, taking advantage of the system and strung out on drugs. I mean, not for nothing. But those guys sleeping on the iron shore, Honduran Caymanians come here and get status. Listen, once you start to degrade our country like that, and obviously degrade yourself, denigrate yourself, it's time for you to get back on that plane and go back to Honduras and be their problem.
Amen.
Withdraw that status, honey child.
That is right.
We need to put things in place where it's easier to strip people of their status. Why are we allowing them? You got status, and I don't care how you get it, right? You come to Cayman. This is supposed to be the land of milk and honey, so they claim. But all the honey drying up, and because y'all killing off the bees while you're at it, okay? And the milk, trying to hush about that. The cows can barely produce any. And we invite everybody in, and then they want to come here and become druggies, thieves, murderers, child molesters, and we have to keep them? I know one thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think so.
Look at all of the druggies out there, the drug sellers out by McFeeling. They have status and they call me and they come in like they can't touch them.
Yep.
Once you break the law in the Cayman Islands, your status should be up for review.
Yep. And you know what? You know what it is too? It seems like, listen, the foreign nationals don't need status until they get NAU. They're not. I mean, they don't need. They don't need NAU until they get status. You know how many expats I've seen never applied to NAU. They were on work permits. They were hustling. They're working, and as soon as they get that little piece of status paper, all of a sudden they can find NAU front door.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Pure crosses. Anyway, my dear, leave me there.
All right, my darling. You have a blessed day.
Thank you. What a hot mess. I'm fast charging this phone, so I won't be able to plug it back in. No confidentiality or accountability whatsoever, says Mayor Star Nixon. Island Day says, I'm sure there's room for improvement at NAU, but the fact is, too many people believe that they should be able to just ask for financial assistance without having to fill out a single form. I'm with you 100% there. And not just fill out a single form, but they have to actually prove. Now, listen, the system can be harsh, and I get it. I know a young man, poor thing. He was doing his best. He was actually working, had 2 degrees. Listen to this foolishness now. Now, this is where you know the system needs some help, right? Had 2 degrees. He was working, but, you know, he couldn't get a decent government job or any kind of job in the areas that he had studied, because some of y'all need help in determining what to study. So he did, you know, one of the sciences, what was it? Bioscience or something. And then a dual with music, because he loves music. Now, listen, nothing wrong with that. You know, that's fine. But, you know, in the bioscience area where he should have been able to find a little job, yeah, that's kind of a difficult, you know, there's only so many, the jobs in that area are very, very limited. So he couldn't find much. He kept applying to like the different, you know, government departments that need scientists and that sort of thing. There's not a whole lot of scientists needed in private sector. I hate to tell you, because we're a business and finance type of country. So that wasn't working out too well for him. But anyway, he had a little job, and he applied for NAU to kind of assist him with what he couldn't, you know, manage. But he came from a situation where at the age of 16, he had to basically divorce his own parents. That's not the right term. It's called, what's it called when children emancipate? He had to emancipate himself from his own parents because he did not want them to continue making poor decisions on his behalf until he was 18 years old. Because as it turns out, the 16-year-old version of this kid had better sense than his parents. Same thing. The mother having all these children for all these different men, alcohol abuse, chaotic environment. It was just crazy. So poor little thing. As soon as he turned 16, he got some help and emancipated himself, even changed his name because he don't want nothing to do with these people. So he has younger brothers that he was concerned about because, of course, they were too young to seek emancipation. And they remained, in the situation with the parents. So they would come and stay with him. So when he filled out his form, he was honest. He's like, my younger brother stays with me, this and that. And NAU says, listen, we can help you. But by you taking on your younger brother, unfortunately, that creates a situation where we can't offer assistance. And I can't remember the exact reason why that is, but there was something to do with, I can't remember if the brother was eligible to work because he wasn't that young. Like I don't think he was a minor, but, and he wasn't working. There was something there, and I can't remember all the details now, but I do remember that because the brother was living for him, that complicated his application with NAU. And NAU says, as horrible as this sounds, you got to get off your freeloading brother. We can see you trying, but a freeloading brother, is a whole other situation. Now, I'm giving you this example to say to you, yes, I get it. I know that the system is tough, right? And NAU has their criteria in place. But I honestly think, I agree with you, Island Days, that there are a lot of people who don't want to follow the system. They just want a free handout with not even a form. And yeah. Someone said that's because they assessed the household. Yeah, that's what it was. And I can't remember exactly what it was that the brother was doing. But anyway, Sandra says, my brother-in-law has a mental illness. And to find out that NAU was paying a studio apartment for like a year in town, apartment that the family never knew about because he lived with his father in Prospect. Well, let me ask you a question, Sandra. Who filled out the form for your brother to be able to get this apartment? Somebody had to apply to NAU and fill it out. Who did that? That sounds like the lawyer that I'm telling you about in West Bay, because this family member of hers, likewise, doesn't have the mental capacity to fill out the NAU form. So she does it for him, supposedly has a apartment rented and NAU's paying for it, and the man don't even live there. So y'all would be surprised how many people are taking advantage of NAU. Island Pearl, good morning, says NAU denied my 70-year-old mother financial assistance, approved Cineco, and every year she has to go back and do the same process all over again. She's Caymanian and no pension. Me and my sis can barely maintain her household. Well, Island Pearl, there's no good system in the world where you would approve someone once and it's going to be a life approval. You're lucky it's only on an annual basis. Let me tell you. Because they need to see if situations have changed. And they can't say, well, we're going to not do it for one 70-year-old, but do it for this other person and vice versa. So everyone has to have, it's probably a very simple set of rules. But yes, you have to be reassessed on a regular basis. But I'm telling you, remember the one that we featured who was out there smoking pot, married to some Jamaican fella, smoking pot with her baby. And these are young girls on NAU, right? And they've been on NAU like their entire lives. Why? And then you got time to sit down smoking pot? And then they get upset when I call them out for it. Like, oh, I could be doing worse. Yeah, okay. That's a standard to achieve. I'm sorry, but our people are just pure slack when it comes to certain things, And your response to a mother who's sitting out there smoking pot on NAU, won't get up, perfectly able-bodied, won't get up and work, is, oh, she could be doing worse. Well, my God. If we're going to hold to that standard, no wonder it's a shit show around you. Come on now. No, sir. Island Day says, ever notice how it's the same people who want ease and everything are the same ones who complain about everything and have nothing? Poor people mentality. Mm-hmm. Not for nothing, but I'm out here hustling in these streets too hard to fool with some of these people. You're right. That's why you have to start vetting them. Every time they come to you, oh, Miss Sandy, I got 4 children. Can I get a food card? And days gone by, I'd be like, yep, here, I'm going to help you. Now I'm like, what you say, you got 4 children? Give me a minute. And I call my little towners because I know people. Or even people West Bay, anywhere about. I say, who is this person? Because I don't know them. They be coming to me and I don't know who they be. So I just came out and say, I don't know who they is. I said, who is this person? Oh, Sandy, try and hush about her. She can find money to be going up northward, visiting that old man every 2 tools and taking him this and that, but can't feed her children. I'm not here to support your lifestyle. I work too hard for myself. Okay? Now, if you need a helping hand, and like I said, people have all been in a little situation, you're in a pinch. But if you're in a pinch because of your poor decisions, right? Making all these men use you and abuse you, but yet you can find money to be taking care of them, that's not the kind of person I'm interested in helping. Give up your children that maybe they can get a good foster home environment and get your tubes tied because we don't want you having no more, and go out there and do you. If you want to have these men using and abusing you and have nothing to offer you, some of y'all can pick up the worst of the worst, like out of Tivoli Gardens. You don't even try and get somebody from the country or Manchester or somewhere about some better decent part of Jamaica. Y'all go for the worst. I'm like, wow. I mean, Jamaica's a country of what? 3 million people? And Caymanians always have to pick up the no good for nothing ones? How is that statistically possible that y'all find them? 2025 says, what video you're referring to? Yes, honey child, we posted it on social on Saturday. Let me see if it's still up there because Facebook be trying to take down stuff all the time. I believe it's still there. Go and have a look, honey child, because it's a hot mess and then some. Let me see if I can find it. So they made the news yesterday. Finally, the police could say that they arrested the 2 of them. Let me show you the story here. This would have gone out. Remember now, you sign up for the news channel Island 2025 because then you would have gotten the link direct there on Saturday. So see them there? See? Cigarette and look like both hands, at least one hand. And I mean, you had to hear her foul mouth and how she cussing at people talking about she's Caymanian. I'm a Caymanian. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what? Oh my God. You people are so embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed to even use the term Caymanians because of people like this. I'm a Caymanian, so you can't tell me what to do. I'm like, oh God. Oh, Lord have mercy. Y'all are utterly disgusting. Jesus. The attitude of entitlement. Oh my God. I can't even play. There was another video where she was justifying her behavior because she came on in, apparently. Apparently that's a qualifier for just being stupid, a druggie, and a nutcase. I'm a Caymanian. And I was like, oh my God. Ugh. When I hear it used like that, it makes me sick to my stomach. Y'all gotta do better. But yeah, you should have seen it. Are you on Instagram or Facebook or where you at, honey child? Let me see here now. Ugh. They're just something else, boy. I tell you what. No, sir. Yesterday was the 12th. Let me see here now. Where is the video? Oh, yeah. It was the 11th. So that was Friday at 10:06 a.m. Landlord speaks out. Let me share it, honey child, because Island, you on YouTube. All right, here's the link. There you go. I don't know if you can click on that from YouTube, but anyway, go back and have a look. Child, Island Days says, wait until the status holders make up the majority of the staff in NAU then you're going to see fleecing of money. Well, if you have standards that everybody has to follow in terms of, the application process, there has to be audits that are done on who's getting what. And, I'm sure the Auditor General must go in there and be looking at this stuff. But these are the faces right here, Caymanians, right, of people who are abusing and using the system. Gabby says, but some jobs won't take people with diabetes. I would work if they would accept people like us. Well, I mean, what do you mean? So when you fill out a job application form, they ask you if you have diabetes? I don't understand that. Or there's something else going on with you because you have the diabetes, because that's a very different situation. So your diabetes has caused a disability? Like, explain to me what that means, because there are a lot of people walking around with diabetes and they don't even know it themselves, much less their employer. So help me out here. What is it about you and your diabetes that makes you unemployable? Are you not showing up to work because every other day you're having kidney failure? Are you in dialysis? Or, give me a bit more. Okay, so now you say diabetes and heart issues. So, okay, we're getting a little bit closer to understanding this. So does that mean there's certain types of jobs you can't do? I need a little bit more, because I know some people with heart issues and all kind of thing and still working. Some people only need a pulse for you to flip a burger. And hopefully you won't keel over dead on top of the burger. All right. And you enforced home visits about 10 to 15 years ago. No clue why it stopped. No rental assistance was given until the check was done. And FA was also granted on very special circumstances. Hard to get. Well, you know what? I'm going to say, and I'm going to send this to Minister Isaac, because I think that this home visit and site visit thing is something that should be required. It looks like NAU needs a compliance department. Seriously, try and make me head that up. I'll do it for free. Because I'll tell you what is also a problem, and I've mentioned this before, and that is people, landlords now, they also take advantage of the system. So they will have places that they're renting. I remember this, especially during COVID, because honey child, I had my little exemption during COVID, and you know what I was out there doing? I was out there on my exemption, taking a lady some pots and food who was an NAU client. She just moved into her apartment, and I was taking her stuff so that she could cook, because she called saying that she didn't have any food. And I said, well, listen here now. This is COVID time, we in lockdown. I said, you can't get no gift cards or nothing like that, because I can't go out to the store. Today is not my name day, but I have food in my house. I can go into my hurricane supply and bring you some canned foods. I got some rice I can bring you, beans, stuff that can sustain you. And so I packed up a bunch of food. You guys might remember, because even on my WhatsApp group, I said, does anybody else have any canned food they can put outside? And I can pick that up on the way. So I did that. But then she's like, oh, I don't have no pots to cook in. And I'm just like, what kind of place you renting? So I took a couple pots, two or three little pots. You need a little, if you can do your little mac and cheese, a little pot you can boil some water in. And then one you can fry up your little eggs and whatever. So, I took some stuff, and when I saw this place in West Bay, I was like, Jesus, what kind of place did people renting? She said she just gotten there. It was a hole. When I see a hole in the wall, I'm giving the place plenty credit. Okay. A hole in the wall, and outside her door practically are these gangbangers sitting down there smoking pot and living their best COVID life. I was like, what the hell is going on? Yeah. And she said to me, this is all I could find that would take NAU. And it occurred to me, why is NAU not vetting? Because okay, you're going to offer people assistance, but they shouldn't be living in deplorable conditions. Let's just call a spade now, right? I get it that it's hard because of people like these two for anybody to rent to NAU clients, because this is how they go on. Keep in mind that they don't pay a deposit normally, because NAU does not give deposit money. Well, now DFA, Department of Financial Assistance, they don't pay deposits. So it's either the clients themselves have to find some money. Most of them don't have it because they're too busy out there buying cigarettes, buying liquor with their money, or buying cocaine. As Mr. Amelia said, cocaine, apparently crack, not cheap these days. I mean, I don't know what the going rate is for a rock, but whatever. Even if it's $1, that's $1 too much that you're spending on a bad habit. Okay? So here they are spending money and all this kind of stuff. These landlords take a real chance, you see, and that's why a lot of landlords are saying, no, Bobo, not me. I'm not doing it, because they don't get a deposit. Be honest with me now. How many of you have a place to rent and would take a tenant that is high risk like these fools and don't have a deposit, knowing that they're going to be up in your place, drinking, smoking, and mashing up the place? You know, they're not going to do it. And that's one of the primary reasons that people refuse to take NAU. It used to be back in the day that they didn't take NAU because NAU took forever to pay. But then NAU got with the 21st century and they learned how to do direct deposits. So I'm going to give y'all an example. Now, they say don't talk ill of the dead. So I'm not trying to talk ill of the dead, but the truth follows you whether you're dead or alive. So let's talk about it. You guys remember some time ago, this was years ago now, probably 2019 even, I did a video where I went by these NAU clients and contacted me, and they were complaining about Miss Lucille Barnes, her place there, right? And she was renting some units from these people. You know, she had some apartments and whatever. And so Miss Lucille, I went there, and one NAU client had just had a baby. Go figure. And the young child was being forced to sleep in a car because how they had it set up was the child, the units were all connected on like one meter, right? So when one tenant didn't pay, Miss Lucille would shut off everybody. So everybody basically was forced to pay. Let me see who this is messaging me. I spoke to Simon after. Okay. Let me see. Mm-hmm. So anyway, okay, hold on one second, sorry. Mm-hmm. So anyway, you know, I go there. I said, okay, let me come and have a look and see what's going on. I go there, sure enough, no air conditioning, no nothing. You know, clients didn't pay. And then to be fair to Ms. Lucille, unfortunately, some of them, when they were being reevaluated, they have to reapply ever so often. They were kind of taking their sweet time doing that. She's like, no, but I'm not staying up in my place for free. I get it. I totally get it as a landlord. And everybody knows she was a badass landlord, right? So I said, okay. I go there, they tell their side of the story. Y'all will recall this because Miss Lucille showed up. You come away from my place, Sandra. You know me, you and I had no problems. And this and that, da, 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 da. We go way back. Well, I don't go way back, but let's put it this way. She knows my people, right? We all Georgetowners. Okay? So whether or not you're Georgetown, or you're Georgetown, Bannacan, or whatever, Georgetowners, you know? So anywho, I said, okay. You know, these people are saying this, Miss Lucille, you want to say anything? No, just get off my property. All right. Some of y'all had a good little laugh at it back then, not realizing, or from way back then, I'm still trying to highlight and get people's housing situation sorted, because it's not fair. Let me be very, very clear here. It is not fair that you have a tenancy situation set up where one person isn't paying their rent, and as a result of that, you penalize everyone, including a young mother. Listen now, including a young mother who unfortunately has this baby. You know, young children, you got to regulate their temperature. This was hot time, summertime, right? And the baby, she had to go sit in the car with the baby in order to keep the baby cool. That's not right. Look here now, come on. So I couldn't stand for that. So I said, I really, this is wrong. So of course, we went and say, okay, well, what's going on here? All right. Anyway, Miss Lucille comes, she run me, this and that. But then she messaged me after and said, we can talk off record. I said, Miss Lucille, tell me what is going on here. What's the problem? Right? What is really happening here? You were free to tell me your side of the story, because I want to understand why you're treating your tenants like this. Well, you don't understand, and it's hard, and blah, 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 blah. I said, all right, I can help you as well. Tell me why. What's hard? And you don't want to pay, and blah blah this. And I said, all right, Miss Lucille, I know people. I didn't know people, I said, I know people. I can get you some help. You said that they're not paying their bills? Let me try and find out. Well, you know me, honey child. I do know people. So I made a few phone calls. And I was like, Miss Lucille saying that y'all not paying her. And you listen, when you're a landlord and you got money coming in from NAU, you're relying on that to pay your bills, to pay your mortgage, this and that. Now, I'll be honest with you. When I went there, I was very, very surprised to see Miss Lucia look like she had her place nicely fixed up, boy, pool and everything. I'm like, NAU people getting pool? But they said, no, Miss Sandy, she locks that off. Like, she don't want us using the pool. And I said, well, why even have an NAU facility? Because basically she was renting to all NAU, She had figured out some cash money situations. So she was renting to all NAU. And yeah, she had pool in the middle, had it fenced off, gated off. I mean, I didn't really go inside, but the exterior looked pretty decent. I was like, mess with her. Pool, that'd be the least of my worries if I'm on NAU. Anyway, no problem. I can't get my NAU money. I said, okay. I said, we gotta figure this out. Guess what it was? Because I said, Miss Lucille, NAU now has the ability for you to pay directly, or they will pay directly into your bank account. Normally, that's quick. These banks got it figured out finally. You make a payment, same day you can get that money, or definitely by the next day. Okay? So, yeah, I filled out that form. Sandy, and this time later, then I get back to me and I hear nothing about it, this and that. So I go do my little investigation. Hear the real truth now, the cold hard truth. They had gotten back to Miss Lucille and had denied her application to pay it into the account. You want to hear why? Do y'all want to hear it? Huh? Who wants to hear it? Raise your hands in class. I want to see if y'all even paying attention to my story. Yes or no? Who wants to hear it? I'm waiting. Y'all falling asleep here. I don't see no yeses or no nos. Robert, but I can't see. Is that a thumbs up? You're on Facebook. Some of the things don't show, Robert, so I don't even know what you just commented. That's a yes or no? Okay, I getting some now. This one says, yes, teacher. Yes, Miss Sue. Robert gave a thumbs up. I can see it on Facebook. All right, look, you know, here's what was actually going on. Apparently, she was in arrears with her mortgage. And so NAU couldn't pay it into the account because she, come to find out, she didn't really want that. Because if you're in arrears in your mortgage and you pay it in, you know the bank would be like, oh, thanks for the payment. We can take this now towards the arrears. And she's not going to have nothing to live on because she was using NAU money to support her lifestyle. Now, listen, like I said, I'm not speaking ill of the dead. I'm simply speaking the truth. You cannot be living a lifestyle, okay, where you are draping in gold. I'm just saying, Miss Lucille loved her good life, always looking good. Yeah. Going off to certain countries that shall remain anonymous, but y'all know which countries I'm talking about, DR and the likes of them, to be getting cosmetic procedures done, liposuction, tummy tuck, breast enhancement, lifting up so you can look good for these young chicks out in the streets. You can't be doing all of that, right? Paying for you and the next one to have cosmetic surgery when you owe the bank their money. The bank is like, WTF. They want their money. So somehow Miss Lucille thought that she could lie to me about, you know, oh, NAU not paying her. NAU is paying her. And in fact, let me tell y'all something. I told y'all I got good sources now, you know. My sources would tell me, Sandy, sometimes she would come in and collect a check for all $50,000, $25,000 because it's a check. They might take a couple months and they got to reconcile with how many tenants she got now that we owe for, blah, blah, blah. She would get a big time check, 25, 30 grand, one whoop. And you know what she was doing with that? Going off to another country to get her body redone. Not paying that mortgage, not at all. Yes, may she rest in peace, honey child. But that ain't got nothing to do with the truth. The truth is the truth. Lavana, I'm letting her rest. She shouldn't have no problems with the truth because she always claimed to be a straight shooter. But this was an example that I was personally aware of how these landlords can lie, not easy. And they too are part of the problem. Okay? So one thing with government, they might be late paying you, even as an NAU client, but eventually you're going to get paid, you know. You're not going to worry about them not paying. They will eventually pay you. But this was the whole thing. And I said to her, Miss Lucille, come on now. What you lied to me for? You don't think I was going to find out or what? And so that makes it even more egregious. Knowing that she'd walk in there and collect her little check for 25, 30 grand, walk out the door, not even paying that to the bank. But yet you're turning off your little power to the NAU clients. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Y'all have got to do better. Here's another one that I'm always hearing reports about. This Clive guy down in Belford Estates. This person says they need to be vetting Clive here in Belford Estates because that's all he have is NAU people. And I've been to his place too. Because that's all he has, charging $1,000 to $1,500 a month. And he has more boarded up rooms right around his main house renting to NAU. I don't even know how some of these places are fit for purpose. They're not fit for human beings to live in. But because NAU clients are so desperate to have anywhere to go, this is what it is. I've seen his place where things are leaking. That again, young mother got put bucket right where the bed is, because that's the only place the bed could fit in the little 12 by 12 room that they're renting for $1,000, $1,500 a month. And the baby having to sleep on the bed. Yep, somebody said $1,600 for a box because they know that there is a ready and available amount of NAU clients who will take up these places. So what NAU needs to start doing is said, listen, I understand that rent not cheap in Cayman. And some people will be like, you get what you get. You got to take what you get, whatever. No. NAU clients, you have got to make sure, because there are children being raised in these environments, unfortunately. And those children are being exposed to all kind of foolishness in these so-called tenement yards. You need to have some minimum standards for what these landlords are offering at this price point. They can't be offering no rent, no roach infested, rat infested coffin box, talking about they're trying to collect $1,500, $1,600 a month. This is ridiculous. Enough of that. Tartarian says this is a fair example and well explained. Marshall says she's not resting in no peace because she did a lot of people wrong. I'm just saying, well, I'm not getting into what her soul might be doing. That's between her and God. That I got nothing to do with me. But what I'm telling y'all is that's a true story. And that's exactly how it went down. And it's a sad indictment on the system. The system not working. And the system sometimes doesn't work because the system itself is broken. It's the people who are using it and abusing it that are the problem. And so we have got to hold those persons accountable. Okay, Mankind says, honey child, they need to hire you and myself for compliance officers. Not Ashley 345 says the truth is the truth. In the Bible, it tells of good and bad people. Abby says the housing situation has become so horrible for everyone except the rich. It's hard. Tartarian says $1,500. No, ma'am. And you, the minister, need to have a walkthrough. It's imperative. Well, you see, the ministers don't get involved in the day-to-day operations like this. I'm keep telling you all this. But they need to make sure that the funding is there, the systems are in place. They say that there is a compliance arm to NAU. Well, they need to get out there more. And I suspect that if I know some of the problem areas like Clive and Belford, people have been complaining about him for years, then NAU must know it too. It can't be that they don't know. But what their position is probably like, Sandy, if we take away Mr. Clive, little coffin boxes that he's renting, right? That's probably going to be what, 15, 20 NAU clients that now have nowhere to go. Who is going to rent to them, knowing that they can't get a deposit and that most of these people are undesirables when it comes to the rental market. So, I mean, I understand the conundrum, but can someone not build lower income housing? You know, let me tell you something. I give somebody a business idea this morning, because if I was in the business, this is what I would do. All right? Build 25 little apartments, 10, whatever you can afford. Studios, couple 1 bedrooms, couple 2 bedrooms. Exclusively for NAU clients. I'm gonna have a contract with government now. This is how we're gonna do it. I am going to vet those clients myself. So if you want to come and rent here, you fill out your rental application. You'll be subject to inspections of the property on a regular basis, because some of y'all nasty and don't know how to clean fridge and stove and floor. You're going to keep it clean, or you're also going to pay a cleaning fee for someone to come in and do it. Because some of y'all act like your granny and your mom, and I teach you how to clean dirt. Y'all too dirty. Okay? Now, regular drug testing. If you come here as a single mother and you rent a room, you got 1 or 2 kids, and you got the little 1 bedroom, that's fine. But you can't be having no man up in my place, honey child. I can turn that law on you. Okay? None allowed. We're going to be spying on y'all. We have cameras everywhere outside the facility. You can have visitors, but no overnight visitors. That's what they be doing in the what do you call it now? Oh, Lord. Airbnb. They got all kind of rules when you rent from them in the States. No overnight extra guests. And they be watching. And they'll charge you extra and get ready to evict you too if you do it. Regular drug testing if you want to live in my apartments. Because they're going to be nice and they're going to be fixed up nice. But you can't be coming around here with no smoking and drinking and whatever. You got to stay clean. Okay? And if I put Aunt Lotta in charge, she's gonna make y'all go to church too while you're at it on Sundays. I'm just saying. What a mess. The problem now, says Gabby, is some don't have a choice. Take what you can get or sleep on the streets. And this is what I'm saying. I understand. I do understand that is a reality. The real Michelle says, methinks you need a gavel. Child. Detective work pays the bills again. I be digging. So who is liable for the damages that will eventually happen in these substandard housing that we're paying for? The landlords have to eat it up. That's why you have people like Clive come here. He's Jamaican, right? Come here from Jamaica. He's found the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Speaking of rainbows, did y'all see the beautiful rainbow on Friday? And there was another one on Saturday, but the one Friday evening when I was driving home, on one end, it was a double rainbow because my daughter was looking out the window. She's like, Mom, look at that double rainbow. So pretty. Yeah. So they figured out the at the end of that rainbow is a pot of gold called NAU, DFA, whatever they go in by these days. Yeah. So their skip, hop, and a jump to the pot of gold is they're not gonna make it too nice. They're not going out there buying a nice stove, whatever. They can give you the bare minimum. Leaky roof, all kind of stuff. So when they gotta fix it up, they're not doing much in the way of fixing up. Some of them have beds that multiple people, this is so nasty now, that multiple people have slept on, that if you pull up the sheets, it's like black underneath there. You never, every so often, you're supposed to change like your pillows and your mattresses and stuff, right? Y'all do know this. I shouldn't be telling you nothing that you don't know, but they don't do none of that. So they spend the bare minimum. I tell you, it's nothing worth, you know. So when they mash it up, they just go out there and throw in another cheap thing, get used stuff, not even nothing new. Anyway, Sandra says NAU should tell the young people who go there, ask for help, that they will get help for 3 months and help them get a job. If they take the job, then they'll be on their own after the 3 months finish. Well, I feel like I need to interview somebody at NAU. I'm going to request an interview because I need to find out exactly what the application looks like. I must admit, I've never looked at it. So I need to see what the application looks like. What are the criteria? Let me see if I can't get over there because, you know, last week when we were talking about it, someone pinched me and said, oh, Sandy, they just opened up the new offices, the NAU office or something like that. And I didn't, as media, I didn't hear anything about this and I couldn't make it because, you know, I had other things going on that day. So I would love to find out a bit more about, now that they're reopened, what's going to be different? Is anything new and improved in terms of the processes, the procedure? Like, I think we have a lot of questions. So let me reach out. Maybe the minister can assist with getting an interview with those NAU folks so we can understand a little bit more about, oh, somebody keeps trying to call on WhatsApp, but it's not coming through. I'm not sure why. Let me see. It just says WhatsApp caller. Let me see what's going on. Who's calling me? Hello, good morning.
Morning, how y'all doing?
Hi, good. How are you?
Not bad. I want to just chime in on this. It's not NAU,
It's DFA. Sorry. Habit.
But anyway, we know what you meant. Anyways, my issue with them is this: they have people that are disabled on their program, and every year they got resubmit their applications and do all of this stuff. There is a young man up here and been in a wheelchair all his life. And he was on NAU, then on to DFA. And they cut him off over a year now, I think it is. Simply because his sister that lives in the States wanted to treat him to a little trip to come visit her. Bought his ticket and he gonna stay with her and she gonna feed him. And they found that out and they cut him off, say he can afford to go and do these things. It wasn't him. He has no income. he's disabled in a wheelchair for life. And these are the things that I feel that NAU is being very spiteful, vindictive about when it comes to certain clients. Now, also, the other area that NAU falls short of, and I can tell you this because as a property manager for over 20 odd years in these islands, I can afford to tell you, they don't come out and look at none of the properties. Because one time I went to a landlord place he called me to come list his property down in Rondite Gardens. My God. When I got there, he said he took bought a house and converted it to 17 rental units. Some people were sharing bathrooms, right? Which is not uncommon. They do that a lot. And when I went into these 2 units to see what they were like, Sandra, there was more cockroaches there than there were in hell and rats running around. And I'm saying to this man, do you have pest control? No, the tenants got to deal with that. No, that's not the tenant's responsibility. And then he's up and told me, well, the rest of the tenants here are all on NAU. The people that were living here were some Filipinos and they couldn't take it anymore, so they left. Or they couldn't deal with the other people. Anyways, my point to him was, you're the landlord. This is your property. You're supposed to do pest control. I don't care if you're getting $5 a month rent. The responsibility of upkeep is yours, not your tenants. Now, I do know some tenants will wear up, take your place and match it up. I've had so many of them do that. And not only are people, let's get this straight, over my 20 odd years of being a property manager, and my worst tenants were Jamaicans. I can tell you that. And that Dr. Lookloy can also attest to that too. Because they were up in his apartment I was managing for him, and they had about, 50 dogs because they were breeding them. Anyways, never read their lease. Worst people in the world to rent to, some of them. Not all, some. Let me get that word in. Now, landlords, I find when they're renting to NAU, they do no upkeep. They don't do the yard maintenance. They don't even come and remove excess garbage. Because if you got 17 units in one place, that's going to be a lot of garbage. And the garbage truck only comes around, twice a week. Or once a week. I don't even know how many times they go down in Rondite Gardens. I went down in there this weekend and looked like it didn't. I've been down in there in 100 years. So it clearly nobody not looking at these areas and getting them cleaned up. My point is, landlords are always the issue when it comes to that. They do not clean when they have they take NAU clients, but they do not maintain the property when they accept that government money. They're like, as free money to them, basically, because they're not doing pest control. They're not fixing the leaky roof. They're not fixing the holes in the walls. They're not fixing nothing at all. And the worst part about it, Sandra, NAU does not do any inspections. And the other thing about the annual valuations, you know that you got 25 or 30 families now coming up for valuation in the next month or 2 months. You should start prepping yourself and have your officers go out to those families and see exactly if they're in the same predicament before you shut them off. And then this is what NAU DFA does. They shut you off if you haven't gone in and renewed your application with them to get continuation of the service. They shut you off. Sorry, I'm having a brawl in the background. And that is where they drop the ball. They should have street officers that go out to those places, ensure them people are there, the conditions they're living in. This should be a monthly thing. This shouldn't even be once a year either, to see that the conditions are maintained by the landlord as well. NAU does not, DFA are getting like DFA does not do that. They do not do that. They're just dishing out the money to these landlords, and they're getting away with not maintaining the property. And there are a lot of good DFA clients that keep the place clean, but living in squalor conditions because the landlords are slum lords. Horrible lords. Anyway, I just wanted to add that.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And yes, the quality of the place is important. And I see here that Miss Pat says, each unit should be inspected for housing quality standards before each move in and after each move out. Well, the first thing that we need to set up is who would be doing that, because unfortunately, even for regular rentals, The only area that is inspected is for the short-term rentals. That's done through the Department of Tourism as part of their licensing regime, right? And that's like Airbnb sort of thing. Long-term renters have no protections whatsoever, and it is high time that the government step up to the plate and implement something. And inspectors who say that there has to be minimum standards in place has to be part of that solution. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Morning, Sandra. MP Brian here. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Was listening to your show this morning. Thought I would chime in.
Are you back? You back home?
Yes.
You
yes.
back on our Little Rock? Okay. Good.
Yeah. The conference was good. Good
Nice.
positive stuff for the Caribbean region, as per the Commonwealth. But that's not what I called in for this morning. A very important topic that you're talking about, because it has so much connectivity from housing to people with needs, sickness, jobs, and the whole works. And not only was I a major advocate for those who are in difficult positions, but also was the minister for a short period of time for DFA. And I do sympathize for that department, because they definitely need a lot of support in many different areas. And they're going to have the financing for it, but not only just to give to people assistance, but for the infrastructure, for them to do compliance, investigations, and all those types of things. It's not structured that way right now. So we need a little bit more legislative changes. And I know that Premier Andre was a big proponent of that. So maybe we may see that as a continued policy from his administration. But there is some complex matters upon which it's difficult to not give people, where some people will say they're not deserving of it, to not give them help. Because, for example, we talk very often about, go out and find work. When many Caymanians who do apply, and I'm not asking, I've seen this before. I've helped people with their resumes where they apply, and they still don't get the opportunity. And I'm not talking about what you call lack. Those ones who are, just enjoying life, smoking weed, drinking in the corner, whatever. I'm talking about good, decent people who want to work, and they still don't get the opportunity, to have no other way to get help. So they're on the system. But the other part that somebody called in about, which is a serious problem, which is health. Whenever Caymanians have any pre-existing conditions where they're still capable of working, you're right, you can have diabetes and still flip a burger. And even if the Caymanian wants to flip that burger, whether the company wants to take on the insurance liability to have you working there is another question. And that's a big red flag, sadly, all the time for Caymanians, where any kind of existing condition that you have, they're reluctant to help you. We see it heavily with persons with disabilities. They don't, because the liabilities that come along with it. So that's a major hurdle for Caymanians. And sometimes you see people who are asking for help. Like, well, you can't work. Well, it's not that they don't want to work. It's whether the job market is willing to hire them. So enforcement is a big area. I want to also touch, if it's possible, about the housing situation. I agree with you wholeheartedly that we need better housing inspections, but I have major worries that when we do create a housing inspection regime, the housing crisis is even going to get worse. So the truth is, we have turned a blind eye to the housing quality in Cayman. But if we were actually to open our eyes and start to put some enforcement in, I think you could possibly take off 5 to 10% of the housing market off the market, which will condense the problem even worse, if you understand what I mean. Because there's places that people are sleeping in are so bad. Hence the reason why I was a big proponent for social housing, and government needs to invest in that right away. We were trying to do so together with the now Premier when he was head of DFA and social development. But obviously the investment from a capital perspective was not committed to. And I'm hoping that I can see that in the SPS so I can give support behind it, because if we want to make sure that there are certain standards within housing, there has to improve housing market availability. And government can't build housing fast enough. Even if they were to commit, say $10 million to social housing, it still wouldn't be adequate enough for the housing availability that we have. because the standards upon which people are accepting is because of availability. If it's no other place to go, what else do you do? It's not like these people want to live in these situations. And the whom or the landlords who own these slums per se are very well aware of the market to say, oh, you can, but if you want my place, you have to pay me $800 when this place is only valued $300. They know that. That's why they, take advantage of people. But it's all about the availability of it. That's why the investment has to be there. But I want the public to understand that if the government continues with a narrative, which unfortunately was, I heard said by the Minister Mike Miles about the Christmas cleanup program. Now, a lot of people think that's just another old program, and according to him, vote buying, and people don't want work and all that. But it's a necessary evil until we fix the employment market and the immigration component, where you're sure that Caymanians can get jobs. Because until then, unless you're offering something in return for the support that you get, then you're just giving away free money. In other jurisdictions, if you're getting welfare help and you can't get a job in the regular market, they make sure that you're getting some sort of value in return, whether it's in the community, whether it's in parks, whether it's senior citizens, volunteering, whatever that may be. And I'm saying until we fix the job market and the employment market that is conducive that a Caymanian can get a job, then we should create the jobs for them and pay them for it.
Hold on a second now, Minister. Okay. I have to agree with you and disagree with you at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Because
MP, not minister.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Didn't realize I said that, but listen, we can't fix the job market without fixing education, because let's be very clear here.
Agreed.
There's a lot of our people who are not equipped to be in a job. Okay. Someone actually said, I glanced over the comment, but didn't pick up on it. Even to Gabby, someone said to Gabby, I'm not so sure that your issue is a health issue. This is what Al 2025 said to her. Gabby Gale, I don't think your problem is diabetes. You seem ignorant and uneducated. Your comments amaze me sometimes. So for Al 2025 to think that and not even know Gabby, and I don't know Gabby either, but maybe there is more going on there than meets the eye, as is often the case with a lot of our people. And there's something else to be said, that there will only ever be so many jobs in the market. And yet we know that small and medium-sized businesses help to sustain an economy. And there has to be support for people who want to become entrepreneurs as well. So that maybe like me, I might not be the best employee. I'm not good working with other people, or working for other people, I should say. But I sure as heck know how to run a business. And I can hustle and make my own coins, right? But I don't necessarily, because I'm not going to tolerate a lot from people, and I'm not going to be doing the things that maybe the normal employee has to do. So we have to look holistically at a lot of different areas, right? We need to fix education. We need to create opportunities for people outside of like traditional jobs. Right now, what's trending, and I saw this in a LinkedIn report, what is actually trending is that, degreed people with degrees are not going to be the future earners, right? It's going to be entrepreneurs. It's going to be people with skill sets. It's going to be people who understand AI and all of these other things. So we need to start really leveraging and understanding how even the marketplace is changing to ensure that our people are employable. Somebody else said this earlier. There's a lot of people who are simply not employable. And oftentimes it is because of they themselves, why they're not employable. It's the attitude. It's the lack of, skills. Yeah. It's a lot of different things, but they are simply not employable. And that we have to fix.
I have to accept what you said there in respect to our educational downfall in the fact that we failed many people, whether it's through parenting, whether it's through the education system, whether it's as a community. But you do accept that there's a group of people out there who are deficient in their attractiveness as employees. But they still are Caymanian, and they still need to eat, and they still need to live somewhere.
But remember, right? Being a Caymanian in and of itself is not a qualifying criteria.
No, I no, it may not be a qualifying area for you to automatically get anything, but we have to care about them. So what I'm saying is that granted, it doesn't automatically means you get anything, but we can't just ignore it, because then you end up with people on the street, on the corner, homeless, and so forth. So what do we do in the interim? Now, I will obviously support the government's efforts to get them uplift, upskilled, re-educated for those who want to. But every society will have a percentage, whether it's a small percent or a large percent, who fall in that route. Well, they just don't want nothing else better to do with their life. And so what do you do with them now? You can just say, you know what, you don't deserve anything. Well, they're not gonna just still figure it out themselves. They're gonna do two things. One, they're gonna become bums and come homeless and sleep on the street, or they're gonna end up doing some illegal activity in order to provide for themselves. Both of those things none of us want. So what is the better option? And this is why, even as politically heated the Christmas cleanup was used, I still think it was a necessary evil, because at the very least, you know that they're making money by earning, and they're working for it, and you know where the money came from, and you kept them busy and all that for those who do fall in that realm. But there's not everybody falls in that category. Right. So,
and the problem too, MP Brian, let's be quite fair here now, right? So the government cleanup program, you know, it is what it is. I don't think it should be a full-time thing, but I do think, as somebody else said, you know, if these people are going to be in NAU and they can't find a job through regular channels, then yes, you know, let's put them to work doing community work, community service, cleaning up the streets, whatever. But what is happening is, those same people gonna sit down there and have a spliff on government time and drink a beer at 11 o'clock in the morning on the side of the street, and aren't really as productive as we need them to be.
That's a different problem then. So you're going to baby with the bathwater. So you can't cancel it because of lack of enforcement of the program itself.
But we can't continue to fund it.
Don't cancel the program.
Right. Well, yeah, we have to, I mean, listen, but the type of people, my point is this, the type of people that it's attracting are the unemployable people who, once again, I'm going to disagree with you. They're not unemployable because they're good workers and that they're going to show up on time. They have the right attitude and that they want to work. They're unemployable for a lot of other reasons, right? So if government is going to try to fill that gap of unemployability, we can't allow slackness on the job just because it's government. That's all I'm saying. I'm with you. 50-50.
And I'm agreeing with you there, right? But it's no different than when you're, say, for example, on that job. That's a program. If you had to have social elements of job training, job attitudes involved in the program at the same time in order for you to be a beneficiary of it, then so be it. Fix the program to tweak it where it can improve our people. But not having it at all isn't going to help, because you do accept that there is a percentage of people and they are our people. And if we do not help them, this will be the end result of homelessness, criminality, and so forth. We can't ignore, and I don't think we should ignore. But while we're trying to fix the employment issue, job opportunities, and education, until we get to that place where we're perfect and we're there, we have to have another gap, because there are Caymanians who want to work and the job market isn't supporting them. And as MPs and as people in our community, we have to look out for one another. So they need the assistance, regardless of whether we think it's unfair for them to get it or not. But I'll leave it there. I just thought I'd chime in.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank you so much. Another caller calling in. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program. Uh-oh. I answered it, but it's still ringing. How is that possible? All right, Instagram folks joining in the conversation. Thank you. Kayla says Clive raised one tenant rent to $1,900. What the? For a board up apartment and scamming NAU. Oh my God, Clive has gone mad. Another person, Real Sophia, says Clive is a thief. That place is full of mold, and he's the next one that love DFF money. Damn thief. Lord have mercy. Dante, he looks like he's up in his feeling, telling me I must go suck my mother. So Dante, you will get the blocking privilege here this morning. Let me just take a quick second to block Dante before we go any further. I'm supposing you one of those lazy people who don't want to work. What's your issue this morning, Dante? Because, you know, we're talking good, sensible things here today. Let me see Instagram. We will be blocking Dante. Thanks, Dante. That's one less idiot on our feed. Dante _ too high. Yeah, he must have high in something. High in stupidity, Dante. Let's go ahead and block him. Caller, good morning to you.
Good morning again.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved for you to answer that phone while MP Brian was on the phone. You understand? Because at the end of the day, I am 100% in agreement with what Michael Miles have said and any blocking or stopping of the NICE project, because money, the people's money have been given out without anything in return. MP Brian stood to my face and told me to don't work them too hard. It's a gift we're giving them. I stood up to him and told him if it's coming out of his pocket, we can do it as a gift. But it is the people's money. While I am supervisor, they're going to do the job that they are hired to do. This is the kind of baloney that breaks our people bad and don't encourage our people to work. That's considered theft. When you are being paid to do a job and you're skylacking, leaving the job site and gala hunting, drinking beers and smoking weed while on the NICE project time, and he's okay with that, you know something really wrong with MP Brian. You know something seriously wrong with him. How can you look at me and tell me it's a gift? He's up for making the people work so hard. It's a gift we're giving them to put food on their tables and to buy presents for their children. Huh? Work for it. Honest living is the best way. Honesty is the best policy. Our government have been putting out millions of dollars on this NICE project. What have they been getting in return? What have they been getting in return? Huh? Little to nothing. I was too strict for them. And I strongly believe he's the reason I have not been able to land back into the NICE project to see to it that work gets done is because of him and Tristan Hyde. Him and Tristan Hyde. I tell him, say, I am not going to stoop to that level. They're going to have to remove me first. And let me tell you, honey child, they did. Can you remember the situation where his Minister Jay told him to hire me? And he told them they paid me a check instead of making me do the work. I still have that check at home where they paid me off for the hours I would have worked instead of allowing me to come on and get and see to it that the work was getting done. Kenneth really have the nerve to come on my road and defend something like this? I'm sorry. I don't stand for that. I really don't. He should be ashamed of himself. Encourage our people to work. Encourage our people to do the job they're hired to do. He can come and tell me, oh, he got about 16 to 17 complaints about me working the people too hard. Really? Why didn't you just tell him, come on, guys, this is a way to make some money. Let's get the work done.
Oh, my God. What a mess.
And then you're going to sit and have the desire and the nerves to come on air and say all the baloney he just said about that NICE project. I'm sorry. You want the job, do the job and earn your pay at the end of the day and go about your business. Okay. Under no circumstances our people should be getting free money. Because when you look, you find the NICE project people all over the place. Or you find them sitting down, smoking weed and drinking alcohol, and only 1-2 people doing the work. Huh? I've seen in cases where one person working, all the rest is sitting down. But it never happened on my watch. And they complained to him about it, and that's why I was removed and wasn't able to get back a supervising position at the NICE project. Because the work was sure getting done. They're just lazy. That's why when some of the time, I mean, you have to swallow the pill when you say that some of our people are lazy because it's true. But now you cannot use one bad apple and spoil the whole thing, the whole flock. But at the end of the day, they need to do better. Minister, what's his name? MP Brian needs to do better.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be going on with this foolishness. Stop spoiling our people. Teach our people how to work and make a living for themselves instead of sponging or earning money dishonestly.
Mm-hmm.
That's not right. You're damning our
right.
people that way.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
All right, another call on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning, dear.
I have a question.
Sure.
On this program, there are many, many people working that temporary program
Mm-hmm.
that are on NAU assistance
Mm-hmm.
because they are unable to work. How come all of a sudden, miraculously, every year they can work? Thank you.
Well, honey child. Lord Jesus. I mean, it's a valid question because they'll sit down all year round and claim say they can't work. Yep. But they're seasonal workers. Apparently their sickness is seasonal, child. I don't make it up. I'm just telling y'all what's the what. OMG. Yes, sir. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Good
Kenneth
morning.
Here again. Oh boy, your show never fails to excite. But unfortunately, I'm calling just
Lord
to
Jesus.
somewhat respond to the caller who was speaking about me. I'm sorry that she is feeling the way that she does. I really do wish her well. I think she works really hard for particularly the seniors. So I'm not going to be here to downgrade her in any way, but to simply say I've never told her not to work them too hard. I did have a conversation with her about complaints about how she speaks to people. And I have no authority about whether she works with a cleanup program or not. And besides, I am not even on the government side. And I think that there's more to why she isn't there than she understands. But I mean, the Christmas cleanup program may come again. Let's see if they hire her, because I have nothing to do with it. It was never a part of my ministry. And she wanted a place to blame on me. I'm okay with taking that responsibility. But I do agree with her that you have to hold people accountable.
Mm-hmm.
How you do that is a different story. But I want to categorically say I've never said to her, don't work the people too hard. You're working them too hard. It's a gift. I don't know where she made that up from. But so that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that my people who know me can hear my side of it, because just leaving that out there for her to say, it would be a derelict of my duties. But I do think there's value in what she does. Maybe she's sometimes too hard. Maybe that's why people are feeling the way they feel about her. But that's not for me. At the end of the day, I ain't got time to get caught up with that. But I just want to make sure the facts are the facts in respect to that. All right. So thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you, MP Kenneth Bryan. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Tartarian says, good point, Sandra, but many of them open a business and then they sit down and hire work permit holders to do the work for them. And they just want to collect the money, the work permit holders, and that where they were. And, listen, the people think that opening and operating a business is easy to do. And so, they just kind of throw something up and think that that's it. And that's not how it works. I mean, being a business owner is no easier than being an employee. It's just different. And in fact, in a lot of instances, it is actually more challenging to be a business owner because you ultimately are responsible for everything. Everything falls on your shoulders. The paying of the bills before yourself, if you're doing it right, and all these other things. So yes, it's not an easy journey. Boy, they're at Michael Miles bad. Whose toes he stepped on? What was said about Michael? I'm not sure that anybody said anything about him today. That would have been somebody briefly mentioned his name, but I didn't even pick up on it. So I don't know. I don't think there was anything for y'all to get in your feelings about Edward. Sometimes you just got to keep it moving. Many of these people working cleaning up program already receiving government assistance. Isn't this double dipping and should not be allowed? I mean, it certainly demonstrates the fact that they will work even for a season a little bit. Because like I said, unfortunately, a lot of them, you know, they like the government thing because there's a degree of slackness that is involved in it. And they're on the road. So sometimes it's even difficult to keep a full eye on them. And it's always the same people every single year. It's the same batch of people, I can tell you. Some of my own family members included, who always seem to sign up for it. And so, yeah, it's not that, and I can tell you those people, it's not that they're not employable because they don't necessarily know how to work. It's all the other ish. They're too busy chasing man. They got to keep up with what the Jamaican husband doing because he might be talking to another woman. Mind you, he's keeping his job, but she can't keep hers. You go figure that out. So there's always, listen, when you really look at these situations, what I'm going to tell you is there's always a mess and then some. You know, people not wanting to show up to work, et cetera, et cetera. So Gabby says that her issue is that she's born with a heart issue. Sorry to hear that. But again, my question becomes, from an employment perspective, how does that impede your ability to get a job? Does that mean that you can't work any job at all? You can't work a desk job? You can't, I mean, I'm sure with a heart issue, we can't put you out cleaning up the streets, but surely there's something you should be able to do. So maybe your options are limited. And people, let me remind you that a little part-time work is better than nothing as well. So maybe because of a heart issue or health issues, you can't work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, but you could do 25. And there are people who are looking for part-time, you know, employees. So maybe think on that. I don't know, but y'all got to get more creative with your lives. Look at this. This came across my thing from 2019, at least. I'm sure before. I have personally been talking about NAU, the situation at NAU, Faces of NAU. That was a live stream back in January 2019. Someone said, I'm just jumping on. Is Ramelia your co-host today? Because their asses, what? They asses the household? What? Because they assess. Sorry, I'm like asses. They assess the household. Oh, that was for another comment earlier. That background check is important. There's always a story. $600 from boxes. Talking about Clive now. He's making millions. Ceiling falling down. Deplorable. It comes down to subpar housing or being homeless. So if Clive can be making millions of dollars off the back of the Cayman Islands government, the very minimum he can do is to ensure that the ceiling is not falling down. They're not leaks. He is, you know, as Carrie said, doing the what do you call it now with the bugs and whatever, pest control and that sort of thing, or get out because this is a business for him. And by the way, I never knew this, but apparently I found out recently, when you have more than 2 rental units, you have to get a business license and then it becomes a business. So if the limit is 2, like it's considered personal, whatever. And then after that, you are required to get a business license. I never knew that. I'm thinking, why didn't I know that? So hopefully Clive has, what is Clive's last name, by the way? Hopefully he has a business license and he certainly needs to do better. By all accounts, Clive is a crook. Good morning. Miss Lucille would run partners money and keep steal some of the older people's money, and that was like $10,000 draws. Lord Jesus, what a mess. Yes, teacher, the mix-up these PPM get into, yes, she would crook you. Who was she? Who were we talking about at 8:50? I don't even know. Laughing out loud. I'm in peens, but CMR is my peen killer. Yes, sir. Good morning, caller.
You know, I shouldn't call back. I annoy some people when I do, but I don't care. Sandra, you're absolutely correct what you're saying this morning. All of this is going on, and it's been going on for so long, and nobody is addressing it. Why do we allow things to just become these festering sores that we can't even clean up and get healed? They just continue. It's just a repetition. Just it's like nobody. They get to a certain area and then they return and they start over again. They don't even look ahead of it and see what can we deal with up ahead. They don't do that. And that's where I see, as somebody look from the outside looking in out of some of these government departments, that is where they go. They can't. I've found a lot of government people work in some of these departments that deal with people in this kind of situation don't want to be bothered with challenges, and they can't deal with a challenge, and they can't deal with solving anything at all. So it just get buried into another heap and they start over again. Look at me. I am hireable, Sandra. I've just applied for jobs up here to do cleaning in the government. Do you know that the HR woman that they hired brought in from Barbados, she's not even a Caymanian native, HR for Kimmenbrock District Administration. Imagine that. She's bringing in people that are not that are on contracts from Grand Cayman to do cleaning in the Brock, and people in the Brock can do those jobs. This is the genocide that's going on in our islands. Expatriates that don't have no lineage or any connection to this country whatsoever are getting these HR jobs, and no HR job in this country should be for anybody other than a Caymanian. I don't care. No contract worker should be in a HR position. Of course, they'll change the title and nobody will investigate. This is the situation up here. Nobody up here in the government likes this new HR woman. She is horrible. She is ridiculous. She's ruthless.
What do you say her?
She's mean and nasty. She treats people with disrespect. They don't even bother go to her. They just deal with their own situations. They don't even want to talk to this woman. And they got her there, and she's bringing in a plethora of expats to work in these lower income jobs in Kimmenbrock.
Where do you say she's
can
HR?
do.
Sorry, I missed where you said she worked.
District admin.
So she works with government?
Yeah.
And she's hiring
Then Miss
government.
Crawford they moved Miss Crawford, Miss Delrose Crawford out of the job, and they brought her in, and she is not even, she's on a contract. You mean to tell me somebody like me who got HR skills and certifications, they couldn't give that job to me? At least I'd be approachable. At least I can look out for my people. You can ask all the staff of Ropers. When I was there temporarily for their HR, they told me I was the best HR they ever had. I listened to the employees. I didn't just totally disrespect them. I didn't do that. No, this woman disrespects people. You know what she was doing? There was somebody up here who's gotten really sick on the job because they never properly prepared them with the equipment to do their job, and lifting a lot of heavy stuff destroyed their entire knee. Okay? And they have had a lot of medical leave time, and she started getting on their skin about it until she had an issue with her arm and had to go have surgery, and she's been out of the office for months on medical leave for the same situation. So she stopped bothering the individual that was going through that situation. She now don't bother now that it's happening to her. You see how karma switch on her? They need to move her out of district admin today. Nobody in Kimmenbrock likes that woman. I don't even think the dead ones out in that Stake Bay Grave Cemetery like her either. So she needs to go. She's hateful. She's demeaning. She's ruthless. She's nasty. And she only addresses those that she hire and bring from Grand Cayman. Can you imagine that? She's bringing people from Grand Cayman and Brackers need job like myself and many others up here could do work.
What a hot mess.
I'm just saying. It's a hot mess. It's bullshit is what it really is. All right. Thank you.
Okay, my dear. What a mess. I don't even know who you're talking about. I'm like, who? All right. Carrie, someone addresses you and they say, let me read this to you, honey chill. This one says, Carrie loved to forget she was convicted with fraud. Why she feels she'll be hired. Good morning. What a mess. Second chances, third chances. I don't know what kind of program we on. Next one says, you see this case, yeah? It's a whole lot going on that we're not seeing. It's a scam thing going on with NAU. These places should be inspected before allowing them to be rented. These people are taking advantage of NAU with what they charge. The woman in the background is in a marriage of convenience to the man where she's not showing his face. Which one are we talking about now? And he also uses drugs. All of them should be locked up for breaking the law because they're all doing it. Good morning. Hopefully they opened a can of worms. Which woman married to who? I'm missing something here. Who are we talking about? Which woman? Lord Jesus. Another person says the reason things don't get done is because people just complain, like the caller. Touche, touche. Oh my God. Oh, the ones in the landlord fight. You mean that Deanna lady, whatever. So we're off air now, so I can play some of these. Hold on. Let me show y'all a few of the videos, because y'all, if you didn't see it, these people not easy, boy. They're not easy none at all. Let me show you how they like to go on stinking nasty. And disrespectful. Very, very disrespectful. All right, let me download this other one. But here's one. This is how they were going on, child. Entitled Bad. Face the bad. This full of profanity.
Hey, and I already got your box up there. 3, 4, 5. You're not gonna run that.
That's all right. That's all right.
I gotta make sure you not run no more taxi.
I don't need taxi. I don't need any. You
see her there? Make sure she can fucking feed you.
I don't need taxi. I don't need any. You're the one that need it. And
Yeah.
why you think you're not going any you today? Because the way you go on.
And the video?
You're throwing in glass house and you.
Mm-hmm.
Video, I don't give a fuck. That little Hungarian, she going home. I got people like those, support her upside there. She gonna fix you. Ronson could be your fucking father.
What'd she say? What'd she say? Ralston gonna be your father? What she mean by that? Let me listen again. Let's do a double take, because I was trying to understand what the hell is she trying to. I mean, not that a drunken person probably making much sense.
Okay, take. And I already got your box up there. 3, 4, 5. You're not gonna run that.
That's all right.
Lord have mercy.
I gotta make sure you not run no more taxi.
I don't need taxi. I don't need any. You
see her there? Make sure she can fucking feed you.
I don't need taxi. I don't need any.
You can imagine you went from somebody going on like this.
Why you think you're not going any you today? Because the way you go on.
And the video?
You're throwing in glass house and you.
Lord Jesus.
Video, I don't give a fuck. That little Hungarian, she going home. I got people like those, support her upside there.
Dropping his dose of name.
Ronson could be your fucking father.
I'm not sure how Ralston get in the mix. What you say? Ralston gonna be your fucking father? Jesus, our people ignorant, bad. You hear me? This was the second time that they came back in the day now when police finally arrested them. They come back cussing, carrying on. Lord Father.
My fucking money. The fucking stragglers up there got their hands up and they would take your money. Nobody not taking yours though. They're taking yours. It's mine that you fucking taking. And
cause
about you Armand Road. I'm just not in the sky and I'm fucking worse when you're fucking with my money. Put down a fucking
his money, but not any of you money. Okay, so that I'm assuming that one is the brother now. That John brother. Okay. And okay. That was when he came back in the day, and police eventually came. Hold on. I got more coming. Hold on. I'm trying to get them all, honey child, because they were a hot mess. Woo. No, sir. This is where it's at. Where he said he don't care about my road.
Virgin blood clot stove.
Man, look here.
Yo,
Just pour your
pussy.
fucking heart.
That what's wrong with you?
Pour your fucking
You know
heart.
me? You know me? Go inside that and I call the police. Yo, you little bitch. I gonna fuck your face up for you.
Come then.
What?
Come on.
Yo, you fierce, you know. But I go immigration on top of you.
Go ahead.
She tell her, come then, come if you're bad. Then she said, what? You fucking
I can
thief.
call him for you if you want.
Me?
Yeah.
I can't man you, you stupid fucker.
You hear it? You hear it? That's it right there.
For me? Why you fucking stupid?
That's the attitude. I'm a Caymanian, you fucking fucker. So being a Caymanian gives you a right to be ignorant and stupid. Let's just one more time on this one, then I'm gonna pull up the other ones.
I get a friggin' blood clot stove.
Man, look
Please,
here.
Yo,
Pour your
pussy.
fucking heart.
Charges.
That what's wrong with you?
Pour your
You
fucking
mad?
You
heart.
know me? You know me?
You know me? You know
Go
me?
inside that and I call the police.
Uh-huh.
Yo, you little bitch. I gonna fuck your face up for you.
Wow.
Come then.
What?
Wow.
Come on.
Yo, you fierce, you know.
She
But I go in immigration on top of you.
Go ahead.
that how she gonna fuck up by going to immigration.
Go ahead.
You see that? Live
I can
gun.
call him for you if you want.
Me? I can't man you, you stupid fucker.
Oh God.
You can call them for me. Why you fucking stupid?
What she say? She'll call. I'ma call immigration on you. I'm a Caymanian. Now I can call immigration on you. Here's another one.
All right, wrong with
None
you.
of your business. I
None of
owe
your
money down
business.
here. The money you fucking owe me, I will go and pay that. Alright? Don't fuck around,
none
boy.
of your
You're a
business.
fucking idiot.
That's a man.
You're a
No
fool.
man, that where you go, he dead.
Oh, don't fuck around, boy. You're not business, boy, family. You just know too much. See me here? Tell him that I ain't fucking man.
You know
Oh,
you can
I
sue
stand up for what is fucking right.
You know you can
Oh,
sue her for
you
putting
can-
on.
That we seriously doubt. That we doubt. I mean, I don't know what kind of stand up you think you're doing, Bobo. But clearly this not it. This not a good example.
Here! I go fuck you up, boy.
Look at that. Look at
Fuck
that.
the fuck up.
You know you owe me
Fucking
$900,
idiot, man.
and then your class take fucking
I'm gonna get
5,003 from
I'm gonna
fucking
get something for
NU,
you.
and I can't get Brooklyn now, and I can't get.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yo, I can't get no help.
Fuck around, boy.
And supposedly, Anna, you gave her assistance because she was supposed to get her daughter back to live with her. Even get rented space from these people and fix up room, claiming that the daughter can come there. The daughter came to visit once or twice. Thank God the daughter not really living with this woman, though. I mean, seriously. I mean, you can imagine if a child has to experience this and go through this. Island Days says this segment of society has no desire to improve their circumstances. They have no desire to elevate themselves, have no education, and don't want any. Classless and proud of it. Apparently, Miss Sue. Oh, Lord have mercy. Aisle 2025 says drugs and alcohol ruining this country. It's so sad. It's the people that ruining themselves, honey child. Lord, crooks want to crook more. Put them in. Double dipping, says the real Michelle. Even the face of fraud seems to be the Cayman culture. Even my bank in Georgetown make-believes butter wouldn't melt in their mouth. They stole from many, but I'll be the last. Which bank you talking about? Put Caymankind in charge of NAU/DFA housing inspections. Lord Jesus. It's a mess. Carrie says as civil unrest is coming to this country, people are fed up of the corruption in the Cayman Islands government. Being Caymanian is no worth or value. I'm ashamed to even consider me one. It's too embarrassing. Marshall says 2 old crackheads. Aliana says it was funny and entertaining, but it just fucking sad now, making it hard for other people who needs the support. Soka, good morning. So she thought the person said they would call immigration on her, but she meant she would make the call for her. No, sir. What a hot mess. Lucy says, Sandy, you're not laughing no more than me. That a bear laughing out loud. Stupidity. Lordy, lordy, lordy. What is wrong with some humans? What if evil lives there? I hope they ain't messing with black magic. Child, and not black magic that does this shit to you. It's classless. That's the part of the problem. And a mix of alcohol and drugs and all that kind of thing. Someone said to me that this Brian guy, apparently, before he started doing drugs, was actually a pretty okay guy. Someone said, good afternoon. This is what they sent me on Saturday. Brian has been on some hard coke for years. Lord Jesus. So where he getting money from to be able to pay bills according to him? And mind you, once again, I hear the place now is a wreck and they couldn't get a full deposit from them. But this is what someone sent me over the weekend. They said he's been so hard in coke for years. He has some beautiful children in West Bay. He had a beautiful, sweet wife in West Bay, but she had to leave him because of his drinking and drug habits. Yes, he's John's brother, as they have the same mother, but she never raised him. He was such a nice person before the drug problem. Never knew him to be violent or anything but drugs. And then breaking heart emoji. Yeah. Al 2025 says it's funny until you hear kids are involved, then it's heartbreaking. I mean, that's the thing. Al 2025 is, unfortunately, they always seem to have children. No two ways about that. Like I said, they can't not get pregnant, it seems like. And then messing up another generation. She said she can get Dulce Power up in immigration. WORC. Yeah, I heard that. I thought Miss Dulce had retired. She not retired yet? I kind of think, is Miss Dulce still there? But calling Miss Dulce's name a mess. Yes, sir. All right. I don't know what else to say. You know, we'll certainly keep an eye on this situation. And you see, this is also another example of why people do not want to take a chance to deal with NAU clients, because unfortunately, this is what they're going to be stuck with. You know? Yeah. The lady was saying she would call them for her, not on her. The poorly educated, no comprehension. Lord Jesus, hold on. We have a few more comments coming in, and then we're going to wrap up today's program. What a weekend. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Just grabbing some additional comments. Yes. All right. This is coming in this morning. This one says, good morning, Auntie. What a disgusting disgrace she has become. As for her and Brian, this is the type of people NAU choose to help when the ones that need the help is suffering and homeless. Another person says they need to go down by the old John Silver building and see who's living there. She opens the unit without permission, went in and been living there for 2 years. What the hell? I wonder how she has the light and water supply set up. She's a Honduran girl that always be on TikTok making scandal. She was involved with the video you posted of the of the young lady that made about sexually transmitted infection. I posted a video about that. When was that? You sure that was me? I don't remember that, but anyway. She's not even working. Someone holding her permit and be sleeping all day. I've always said government should buy that building and turn it into housing for NAU client on a temporary basis. We put up a thing about somebody with STDs. I don't even know. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Wrong one. Let me see what this next one is. Next person says, morning. She didn't even understand the context. The woman said she would call them for her. She calling the woman stupid, but that went right over her head. She's saying to her, she doesn't have to call immigration on her because she will do her the favor and call them on her herself, on her behalf for herself. Yes. Essentially, she'll report herself. No need for her to threaten her with immigration. What a mess. No, so. Wow. The topic you were talking about earlier with the video, she's saying the man would be her father. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, Ralston is the landlord. I know one thing. It wouldn't be Miss Dulce Power she would use. Oh, his name is Ralston. I thought she said Ralston. I'm like, what does Ralston have to do with this? Oh, she all kind of confusing me. Oh, I see. Ralston must be her father. She's saying that to the wife. Child, I'd have to watch that again to try and understand that drunkenness. Whew, what a hot mess. Which John you know? Who else we refer to as John except John Seymour? Like Dwayne John Seymour. Apparently this is his half brother. They have the same mama, is what people saying, but she never raised them. Crosses, I say. Don't forget, not every person from trauma have drug addictions, but every drug addict comes from trauma. Not really, no. I've seen drug addicts that grew up in really good homes and stuff. The trauma must be of their own making, because some people will take growing up in a good home with two, solid parents who, nobody's perfect. So they yelled at them, whatever. I mean, that creates trauma. But some people make trauma at anything, any excuse. And I actually think that some people just have addictive personalities. I know people who no two people, like they say, no two children are the same. They don't experience the same environment and whatever. But some people just seem to have a very, very addictive personality. And so it's like they got to stay away from shit. They got to stay away from drugs and drugs can be anything. Marijuana, alcohol, whatever. Eating for some people is their drug of choice. So, yeah. Well, I'm not saying because they're rich. I'm just saying, yeah, rich people abuse their children. Of course they do. That's not what I'm saying. It's not about being rich. I'm saying they're actually people who grew up in really good homes. Whether it's rich or poor, they grew up in good homes and they still end up having a drug problem. And their parents tried every single thing possibly. All right, breaking news. We're going to end the show now. That's not the breaking news, but apparently Donald Trump admits that he's not going to heaven as he ponders his mortality. Donald Trump has repeatedly raised questions about his health this year as he's set to become the oldest sitting commander-in-chief in the nation's history. And dementia runs in his family, right? Early onset dementia. So I know some of the shit and nonsense he be talking about. He can't even put a sentence together sometimes. I'm like, what the fuck is he saying? Anyway, he made some comments the other day, and he pondered his prospects of reaching heaven on Sunday amid mounting speculation that he's at death's door. While leaving the White House for the Middle East, the president was asked about the recent historic ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel, which improve his chances of getting into, if it would improve his chances of getting into heaven. Well, who the hell asked that question? This unusual question came after he previously hinted that his involvement in ending the Russia-Ukraine conflict could serve as compelling evidence for his heavenly entrance. He thinks he can hoodwink God into letting him into heaven. He goes on to say, I don't think there's anything that's going to get me in heaven. Yeah, especially when you're hanging out with fucking pedophiles for years. I digress. I don't think there's anything that's going to get me into heaven. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly on Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven. What? The president said while on the presidential plane. This dude don't make no fucking sense. I'm sorry. What? You're heaven bound on the plane? Anyway, he did a medical examination at the Walter Reed Medical Center on Friday. And the one thing I want to say about that is he got his COVID shot. So all y'all who are in this anti-COVID, he got his COVID booster shot since he's traveling overseas. And he also got his influenza shot and all kind of stuff. So yeah, he telling y'all not to use COVID, but yet he doing it himself, the COVID vaccine. Lord have mercy. What a hot mess. Edwin says, well, that explains a lot. Ignorance is normally passed on. Auntie Sandy, can you provide an update on the upcoming CMR TV programming? Tune in tomorrow. Yes, we're this close. I'm pushing my web guys. It's down to them now. It's down to them. And I think we're almost there. So I needed to look at the website yesterday. I didn't get a chance to do it to kind of see where we at. They're built out the pages. They just need to publish them. And once that's up, the content creators have their stuff ready. So I think that we are going to be ready to fly here soon. But I just want to go over the pages, make sure everything looks good, because you know how you all stay, Shaka. You put up anything with one little situation or something, then y'all like, oh, Sandy, look at CMR, got this comma where it's not supposed to go. Hey, God of Egypt, where you been, honey child? Miss you. So I just want to look everything over, make sure everything looks good. And I think one other technical guy, let me actually message him. He was supposed to be working on the VOD stuff. So I probably just need to have a group meeting. And to see if we're ready to launch. VOD done. So let me just ask him a few questions, okay? All right. This person says Dementia Dawn. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, back from vacation now. We had a good show last week. So we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. So yeah, what a mess. Ooh, I tell you. All right, I got to go conduct some interviews and stuff this morning. Mama got to get to work. I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't have an outro right now on the live stream, so I'll do a few commercials before we go, because Facebook had blocked something from 2023 or 2024 or something. So they had restricted my live, so we had to come up with a backup option for the live, because, you know, we can't be having that going on. And so I'm on the backup feed now to stream to the page. So unfortunately, I don't have my regular stuff like I normally would. So that's why you noticed the last week. But I think we're going to be probably next week or the week after, we'll be out of jail time. Whatever. But where there's a will, there's a way. All right. We are looking for some Filipino content creators, because there are other ones, they not quite ready to do it. Time constraints. So here we go.
Kapanapanabik Oras ay nangyayari dito mismo Cayman Mile Road at gusto naming maging bahagi ka nito. Naghahanap kami masigasig at malikhaing tagalikha.
Okay, let me say this. We're bilingual, trilingual, quadruple lingual, 50 lingual, 100 lingual, because guess what? We got AI. Mama understands the technology. Take that, Bobo.
Kapanapanabik Oras ay nangyayari dito mismo Cayman Mile Road at gusto naming maging bahagi ka nito. Naghahanap kami masigasig at malikhaing tagalikha nilalaman mula komunidad Filipino, gustong tumulong sa amin. Isulong pagkakaiba-iba, kultura at koneksyon komunidad buong Cayman Islands. Kung pinangarap mong mag-host sarili mong palabas, magbahagi nakaka-inspire kwento o magpakita pagmamalaki Pilipino, ito na ang iyong sandali. Naghahanap ang CMR-TV ng mga malikhain at independyenteng tagalikha ng nilalaman na handang magsama-sama at gumawa ng lingguhang palabas na ipinagdiriwang ang karanasang Pilipino sa Cayman at higit pa. Kaya't kung mayroon kang talento, mga ideya at lakas, gusto naming marinig mula sa iyo. Sumali sa pamilya ng CMR habang patuloy tayong lumalago, kumonekta at kumakatawan sa bawat sulok ng ating masiglang komunidad.
Infrastructure is more than roads and buildings.
It's our lifeline, connecting East End to West Bay, Cayman to Little Cayman, and the Cayman Islands to the world.
It established the route to get our children to school, keep our hospitals powered, and support our businesses every day.
Through hard work, ingenuity, and perseverance, people make that happen.
From the early pioneers who paved the first paths and laid the first pipes,
to the innovators who modernize water, energy, telecoms, ports, and our airport.
they're the quiet hands that build resilience.
And the vision that keeps Cayman going strong.
Now it's our turn to recognize them. Know someone who built, maintained, or improved the Cayman Islands we love?
Nominate them today at gov.ky/YSCH. Click Nominate today.
The Fall Labour Force Survey and Quality of Life Survey conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office (ESO) starts on Sunday, September 28th. The Labour Force Survey seeks to collect data on the employed and unemployed persons in the Cayman Islands, as well as those who are not in the labour force. The Quality of Life Survey seeks to gather information on life satisfaction, sense of well-being, financial security, economic outlook, social inclusion, sense of belonging to the local community, and perceived health. Trained interviewers, with ESO ID cards, will visit randomly selected households. The interviews are confidential in accordance with the Statistics Act. No individual data will be published or disclosed. Survey data are exempt from Freedom of Information requests. For more details, please call the ESO hotline at 516-3329. That is, 516-3329.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage is pleased to announce that the nominations for the 2026 National Recognition Awards are now open. Nominate individuals and groups who played a key role in developing the Cayman Islands' physical infrastructure. The categories include landmark leaders, infrastructure innovators, and the builders of Cayman. Visit gov.ky/YSCH. Click on the Nominate button to make a nomination. Here is a step-by-step guide to fill out the form. Before starting, please read the instructions, the award categories, and the eligibility criteria. Step 1. Enter your personal information and select the award category for the person or group you are nominating. Click Yes to confirm that your nominee meets the criteria. Step 2. Enter the nominee's full name, date of birth, and district. Indicate their current status, whether living or deceased, and ensure you have the current contact information for your nominee and their next of kin. Fill out the submission detail and provide any supporting documents and a reference to support your nomination. Step 3. Review your submission and make any changes by clicking the previous button. When you are ready, confirm and agree to the terms and click Submit Form to make your nomination. A thank you notice will confirm that the nomination was received, and a copy of the application will be sent to your email. Your nomination will be reviewed and considered by the National Recognition Awards Committee, and only successful nominees will be contacted and recognized at next year's National Heroes Day ceremony. The deadline to make a nomination is October 15. Remember, you can submit multiple nominations or browse our frequently asked questions by visiting the National Recognition Awards tab at gov.ky/YSCH. We look forward to receiving your nomination.